back to Life with Joannes. If this is your first time, lovely to have you. If it's your second, 10th, lovely to have you back. Thank you so much. Do not forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button, and also the gling gling gling, the notification bell, so you know anytime I post a video. Anyways, we have a lot to unpack today, so let's just get into it. Alright, so today I'll actually be talking about how to get into the accelerated nursing program, and I'll be covering everything from requirements, prerequisites, some of the things I did or didn't do, why I did or didn't do them. So let's just dive in. Before we get into it, what is accelerated nursing? If you haven't seen my first video, make sure to check that out. I will put the link in the description below. I talked about the types of nursing programs or the nursing routes in Canada. So check that one out before you watch this one. If you already watched that one, thank you. Pull in close. Let's get into it. So what is accelerated nursing? So the accelerated nursing program, it's actually a 2-year program, or roughly 2-year equivalent program. I say equivalent because some schools it's 19 months, 20 months, but on average 20-year program that enables students to actually become registered nurses. Yes, I said registered nurses, not a practical nurse. Now, a little bit of history. So normally to become a registered nurse, it is a 4-year program at a university, but with the accelerated nursing program, you can actually get it in 2 years, but there is a catch. The accelerated nursing program is actually reserved specifically for students or previous graduates who have either graduated and completed a 4-year degree program at a university in a degree that is pretty much anything that is not nursing. So it could either be business, it could be liberal arts, it could be engineering, just anything you can think of, biology, economics, anything that's not nursing. If you completed 4 years, you can go into this 2-year accelerated nursing program. The other option or the other way that you can get in is if you complete at least 2 years of an undergraduate program that is not nursing. So either you complete 2 years or you finished and completed 4 years, that's fine, you can get in as long as the program you completed is not nursing. Well, duh. So that's actually what the program is, and you complete it, like I said, in 2 years, and when you're done, you become eligible to write what they call the NCLEX exam, which is just a licensing exam that everyone has to write if they want to become a registered nurse. So more on that later. Maybe when I write mine, I'll keep you guys posted how that goes. So yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell the accelerated nursing program. Now for my international students, yes, this program is also very much open to international students. Most universities here in Canada let international students into the program. The prerequisites are pretty much the same for international students and domestic students. So the only difference, of course, the fees. As international students, you always pay more. So that's the only thing. Now, there are kind of 2 types of international students. If you are an international student in Canada, then yes, you can go in. If you are coming from a different country, so let's say you did your undergraduate degree in a country other than Canada or the States, you may want to email the school to confirm if you meet the requirement. Okay, so let's just get into the requirements for the accelerated nursing program. I have my notes here because this is important. I want to make sure I cover every single thing. So first, we'll start with GPA. Now, for most schools in Canada, you do need at least a GPA of 3.0, and that's over 4. So keep that in mind. If you are in another province, most provinces or most universities, their GPAs are usually over 4, but there are some provinces, I think BC, British Columbia, I think their own GPA is like different. I don't think it's over 4. I think it's over 4 point something or 5. I can't really remember, but I'm using the 4.0 GPA as the base. So for the accelerated nursing program, you do require, most schools require to have at least a 3.0 GPA. Now, just a disclaimer, everything I'm going to go through today, for the most part, these are minimum requirements. That means that if you at least meet the minimum, you can apply. It does not guarantee entry. Nursing is, like most programs, is actually getting very competitive. And so, to be honest, a 3.0 GPA is not bad, but it may not be competitive for nursing school. So I'm not saying that to lower anyone's hopes. I'm just, being honest. A lot of people who get into these programs have more than 3.0 GPAs. That does not mean you shouldn't apply. You can always look to, they're usually, well, I'll go through all of them, but they're usually like different requirements. So if your GPA is not so good, maybe you can try harder in something else. But just keep that at the back of your mind. If you're still in school, aim for a higher GPA. I would say from like a 3.5-ish may be competitive, but to be honest, if you can get a 4.0, just get it. But I know it's not easy. Do the best you can, study hard, but anyways, the minimum is a 3.0 over 4 for most schools. So that's pretty much it. Now this GPA, it's not based on your overall, so it's actually based on the last 2 years of your previous undergraduate degree. So this is what I mean. For example, I'm in the accelerated nursing program. I completed, before that I studied biology or biological sciences, and I completed 4 years. So when I was applying to the accelerated nursing program, they did not consider my GPA for the entire 4 years. It was my GPA of mainly either my last 2 years that I did, or for someone else, it could be still your last 2 years, but more importantly, the last 20 credits worth of courses that you did. So let me explain what I mean by that. Some people go to school 4 years, they're done. If that is you, they will take your GPA of the last 20 credit courses that you did, right? For a lot of people, that's just the equivalent of their last 2 years. Now, some other people, you may finish your 4-year program in 4 years, and maybe you go back to school and, I don't know, do another semester or 2. When they're taking your GPA, that last semester that you did, that is more than your 4 years, they will start counting from there and take 20 credits backwards. So I hope I haven't confused you. So basically, it's just your last 20 credits that you've done. So if you've only completed 2 years in an undergraduate degree, it's pretty much everything they're going to take. So if you've completed 4 years, it'll be your last 4. If you've done more than 4 years, whatever, just have it at the back of your mind, the last 4. Now, that being said, like I said in my previous video, please, please, please always supplement any YouTube video you watch. Always supplement it with extra research, because depending on when you watch this video, things may or may not have changed. It may even still be the same for school A. It may not be the same for school B. So make sure you look specifically at the website of the school that you're hoping to apply to and see what the requirements are. But overall, everything I'm covering in this video as of right now, most schools, this is what they require. But still, please, please, please do your research. Okay, so that's pretty much it for GPA. Remember, The more GPA you get, the better, but the minimum is 3, and that's out of 20 credits. Now, the next thing is actually courses. Now, I'll talk about 3 main courses. These courses, some schools require more, but most schools ask for these 3 at least. Anatomy, physiology 1 and 2, and then statistics. Just a couple of things on anatomy and physiology. Now, if you are still in your undergraduate degree, or if you're even done and you are planning to apply for the accelerated nursing program and you're looking at the prerequisites, please have this in mind. Some schools offer anatomy as one course on its own, and then they offer human physiology 1 as one course on its own, and then human physiology 2 as one course on its own. Now, the same schools, or even some other schools, have courses whereby it is human anatomy and human physiology together as one course. And so if you are applying to the accelerated nursing program, they require anatomy, physiology 1, physiology 2, and statistics. So if you took those like 2-in-1 courses, make sure you find out if that satisfies the requirement of maybe just anatomy, or just human physiology, or even both. Or maybe it satisfies the requirements for anatomy, human physiology 1. So just to avoid any issues, send an email to the admissions committee or the admission center of the nursing school you're hoping to apply, if you took one of those courses. So try to find out how it's going to translate, if at all it will, so you don't run into any trouble. Do not assume, and guys, there's really no need to assume anything. Just make sure you get everything 100%. Like, be sure, right? You have nothing to lose. Just send that email confirming if it qualifies or if it doesn't. That way you save yourself the stress, the mess that could come from that. Now, the other thing I wanted to say on the course requirements is, make sure you read the fine print on the course requirements. So, for example, when I was applying, McMaster University in Hamilton, Ontario, they asked for these courses, human anatomy, physiology, statistics. But then they specifically said that they wanted the students to have covered certain courses, or certain topics like reproduction, and some other things I can't really remember. So make sure you actually do read. If you go to a school's website, don't just glance through. Read everything word for word. And I felt the need to say this because someone I know did not read it. It's not me, but I know someone I know did not read it. I don't know who, but someone I know did not read it. So make sure you read those fine prints to know everything that they require of you, right? But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Sorry, just checking my notes, make sure I cover every single thing. Oh yes, now for the courses, most of the schools require to have at least passed those courses with at least 60%. So it's not just about doing them, make sure you do them. Now, if you've gotten this far in the video, thank you so much, I appreciate it. One more thing I want to say on the courses is, if you finished your undergraduate degree and you find out that, oh, I want to do the accelerated nursing program and I didn't take these courses, guys, you can always go back to school. And you do not have to go to the same school that you graduated from. If you want to, that's fine, but you can pretty much take these prerequisite courses at any university. Now, the accelerated nursing programs, they usually do require these courses to have been taken at a university. So that means somehow if you took them in high school, I don't think high school counts. Or and also there is an age limit on the courses. So I think they require to have taken them within the last 5 to 10 years. I think it's 10 years, but make sure you check the schools, but I believe it's 10 years. They need you to have completed those courses within 10 years before you apply to the accelerated nursing program. So yeah, that's pretty much, courses. Now, like I said, some other schools ask for some other courses, like some things in the humanities. It varies for each school, so make sure you just check each one what they require. But for the most part, most schools require these 3. Now, the third requirement, a lot of schools require some English proficiency test. Now, for a lot of domestic students in Canada, this doesn't really apply to them. But for some international students in Canada, they like to know that, you understand English, you can speak it, you can write it. If you're from certain international countries, like for example, I'm Nigerian, I didn't have to write any English proficiency test. But maybe if you're from a different country whereby English is not your first language, you may be required to write an English proficiency test. Now, they will tell you the types of English proficiency tests that they will accept. I believe Western University requires TOEFL or the IELTS. I think that's what it's called. So one or the other. So just confirm if English is your first language, you may not need it. So some people do, some people do not. So that's one thing to keep in mind. All right, now this fourth thing now, I believe, is the Casper test. Now, this is something that not all the schools require, but a good number of schools require this Casper test. I'll probably spend another time doing another video on it because it's just a test on its own, but I'll cover it briefly here. Now, the Casper test, it's not like a knowledge test whereby you read some science things or math, English, and then they'll ask you stuff. No, it's actually just testing more of your personality and how you think and how you act, right? And there are 2 parts of the test, or there are 2 separate sections, I guess, of the test. The part where you just write, they just maybe give you a quote or something and tell you to write what you interpret from that quote and how it applies to you or not, something like that. And then the other part, you're given a scenario. Maybe they get you to watch a video and then they ask you questions on that. So for example, maybe you could see someone stealing from a store and they ask you, oh, what would you do if you were in this situation and you saw someone stealing from a store? And then you just have to write what you will or will not do. Overall, if you're looking at it plainly, it's not a difficult test. So it's not difficult in terms of there's nothing to necessarily study. So you don't have to worry about memorization. However, a lot of people may not do well because they don't know what the test is looking for, so they just write anything. But the test is trying to test, if you have certain skills like empathy, communication, and all that stuff. I will put a link for the Casper website so you can look more into it. Honestly, the best place to get information on the Casper test is on the Casper website, and they also do have a sample test on their website. And when I was preparing for mine, I went all over Google. The closest thing to the actual test is the one on their website, so the practice or the sample test. So that's the best thing. The other thing I will say in regards to the test is make sure you practice your typing skills. Hey. Especially my international brother. Well, you know what, let me not make this an international thing, but I'm Nigerian. I know that I didn't really grow up typing that much. So when I moved to Canada, I was typing one letter at a time. So if you know you are at that level, do not write this test still at that level. Practice how to type, because the test is not written. It's, you know, you have to type. So do practice that. But I guess I'll do another video on that, but this is basically just the summary on it. So some schools need the Casper test. The second, or well, not the second thing, but I lost track. But the other requirement, again, this requirement is required by some schools, not all the schools. This is usually a supplementary essay. I do know Queen's University required it when I applied. Here they usually just give you like a topic to write about, and you know, basically writing an essay. So yeah. And then I believe U of T also asked for like a personal statement. You know, this is the way the university tries to get to know you more, because we are all more than our grades. And like I said earlier, nursing is becoming a really competitive field, and so schools or universities are no longer requiring or relying solely on GPA. So they want to know more about the students, and one of the ways they can do that is through the Casper test, through supplementary essays, personal statements, and all that stuff. So yeah, that is pretty much it. So I will try to put the link, no, I won't try, I will put a link of universities in Canada that do offer this accelerated nursing program. Now I should say this is somewhat of a unique program, so not all universities offer it. As a matter of fact, not all universities that offer the nursing program offer this accelerated nursing program. So I'll try and put a link of some universities in Canada that do offer it. Overall, I hope this video has been insightful for all of you, or most of you. If you have any questions, please always feel free to reach out. I'll also put up another video talking about tips of certain things to look out for when you're researching what universities to go to for the accelerated nursing program. But reach out in the comment section, or on Instagram, DM me, PM me, ping me, whatever, if you have any questions. It's been lovely chatting with you all. Until next time.